To start proceedings.
O tino ngā huatanga o te wā, me kaua tu kia tātou ku whai wā, kia rau i ka irunga i te karanga o tēnei kātua huatanga. Ha te urunga tapu te mauri tui te wihi ngā nuku tui te whiwhinga rangi ke te whiwhinga mai waho purutia, mai waho tāwhio, mai waho. Tēnei te mauri ko aka piki, tēnei te mauri ko aka kake, te mauri o tēnei tūpo, te mauri o tēnei ariki, te mauri kirunga, te mauri erangi, te mauri kāputa ki wau ki te whaiau ki te aomarama. Wheti whanau haramai te toki hau me hui e tai ki e. A kā tira ka whakatauri e a koe e mai ki rotu i tēnei o tō tātou piringa, pai te ki te atu i tō kanohi o tino ngā huatanga mahi rungi a tātou katoa. Tēnā tātou.
Kia ora, thanks. Hayden, I was talking to Hayden before the meeting and I said I'll take some advice from mana whenua, but I think it would be really great if we could share around the team here in the committee the opportunity to lead in opening and closing karakia. Some of you might want to or have a favourite karakia that you would like to practice, and sometimes it can be a bit nerve-wracking, but you're in good company. Members of the public, if you're here, then it's wonderful for you to be able to join us. However briefly as that might be, because our business today is under part 2. But Hayden, good to see you. Dave, it was great to catch up with you earlier in the day. Marge, earlier in the week, wonderful to see you. It's pretty hot out there, and I know you've travelled from Taihape, so good to see you. Grant, good to catch up with you again. Long time since I saw you. Mike Barker, it's great to have. Sam is unavailable, he's an apology today, but Mike is his alternate. Wonderful to have you here. Thanks so much for stepping in. We very, very much appreciate it. Katie, good to see you, and great to have a walking meeting with you earlier in the week. I think we should be doing more of those, and that was a great 40 minutes of walking around the block. And Andy as well, good to see you. Danielle and Bernie, great to have you online. So delighted for you to be able to join us as well, if not in the flesh, online, and we do appreciate your contribution. So the apology today is Sam. Housekeeping will come up on the screen in a moment. If there's a fire or an emergency or any health and safety issue, then you can read there for those of you who are in the room as what we have to do, and where the meeting points are, and the fire exits will be led by the staff of the amazing PNCC, and we appreciate that if there is an emergency. Item 3, notification of additional items. Is there any additional items for part 1 of our meeting today that we don't know? Anybody from the floor, if you've got an additional item? No, thank you. Declarations of interest. Just a reminder to colleagues that we need to submit to Hannah and the team any declarations of interest that we might have. If you are a councillor or you're a mayor, I think you might have just recently done that for your substantive positions, and so we will get a copy of those. And for anybody else, including myself, we just need a reminder to get those into the team, our declarations of interest. 5, public comment there under for part 1. Confirmation of the minutes. We're going to move to confirmation of the minutes from our meeting of the 13th of February. And perhaps for any correction of errors, I'll just lead through page by page to begin with. Page 5 of our papers, page 1 of the minutes. Is there any corrections from our meeting of part 1 of the 13th of February 2026, our last meeting? Any corrections for page 1 or page 5 in the document bundle? Page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9. There being no corrections, I move from the chair that they're a true and accurate record of the meeting of the 13th of February 2026. Do I have a seconder for that? Andy, thank you very much for seconding that. Okay. And I don't have to do that right now. It's just after this. Just if I move these. Part 1, yeah. Any discussion of those? Any matters arising form part of the work schedule, so we will get onto those. So at least for this meeting, it might change in the future, but we're not intending to have any matters arising. So we're just voting on whether a true and accurate record. Any discussion? We're allowed to vote by a show of hands. So no, we don't have to push any buttons. We're allowed to show our hands. So all those in favour of there being a true and accurate record, raise your hand. Everybody, thank you. Any abstentions? Any noes? Any nays? Carried. Thank you very much, team. Appreciate that. That takes us to the work schedule. That's there for your information. And actually, now the closing karakia, that was very quick. We won't close until the actual end of part 2, I think, rather than actually going through opening and closing for both parts. We're going to now move to the exclusion of the public for the reasons that we can see on the screen. Mr. Mayor Grant. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, just on the committee work schedule, and this is probably for the council people, we're probably going to need to take that draft statement of expectations to our councils, at least for them, for some commentary. So just want to have that on the record that my council's certainly expecting that. Now, we're not sure how we're going to deal with that, but because it is actually this shareholding committee that makes that decision. But I think it is wise for all of us that at least it goes through a process of feeding in from the three shareholding councils, but also our iwi partners, that we've got a bit of an understanding of what that SOE looks like. So just want to put that on the record.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. Yeah. I think it's in terms of that work schedule and the most significant body of work over the next sort of month to 6 weeks for us will be that statement of expectations. It's our hope to get to this committee a draft of that, fairly rudimentary draft, but a draft nonetheless for the meeting of the 27th of March. That might require some one or small group meetings of this in workshop style, not a subcommittee, but a workshop style between now and the 27th. But our next meeting, which is only 2 weeks away, it's an expectation of getting that draft statement of expectation to us. Then we have on the 8th of April a get together with all the councils, and that will be likely the first substantive introduction to the councils proper of that draft. And then we do, Grant's right, I think, we do as a committee need to work out what our expectation would be for that to come back to us in preparation for our next meeting, which will be the 30th of April. My feeling, and probably not for a discussion now, but we'll continue it, that if we were to give the councils a couple of weeks after the 8th of April, which would give time for their feedback to come back and for us to be able to collate that, for us then to have perhaps even a workshop style discussion for our meeting on the 30th of April. But that statement of expectations is a big body of work, and I'm keen to ensure that this committee is involved in that and feels that you're very much a part of it in its formulation, and not merely having it produced and presented to you at the meeting. So we'll elaborate on that work schedule. Any other questions or issues about the work schedule? Thank you, Andy.
Now I am. Thank you. Absolutely concur with Mayor Grant. This is the one thing that we've all said to our councils, that you will be involved in the statement of expectations, that it will be the sign-off process. We're already having to educate them that the appointment of directors and is a function of the shareholders, and they're fine with that, but we just have to follow through. Got it.
Absolutely committed to that, and it's like I suggest that it would be our meeting on the 27th that we would work out agree on a process as a committee for how we would do that. It might vary between councils, but we will agree that as a committee on the 27th. Grant?
Unless there's any other commentary, Chair, I'm quite happy to remove the work schedule, which I think we formally need to do.
Last time we didn't, it's up to me, so I'm not gonna, can we
Okay.
keep it, are you okay with that? If we
Yeah,
just
no,
keep
I'm
that a
fine.
bit more fluid and we just have it, we've tabled it for information. We can see that we're heading towards, we're using first names if that's okay, and we're heading to a little bit more informality. I'm really looking forward to the day, with all due respect to the Palmerston North City Council, beautiful building that we have here in this amazing room. I'm looking forward to the fact when we can sit a little closer than about 10 metres away from each other, which will be after the 30th, which will be more conducive, of course, with the public being invited to that and being able to patch in, but it'll be more conducive to the discussions that we need to have. So we will make sure that we adhere to the standing orders, and where that doesn't suit us, we will not. So exclusion of the public for part 2, that being the end of part 1, for the reasons that are on the screen. So if there isn't any members of the public that are here, then I would ask that you can have a look at on the screen. We've got a couple of items that we will be discussing, and for the balance of the issues of privacy and the public, outweighing the public interest, part 2, which will be the close the meeting that we'll go into now. I think the exception to that will be the colleagues of Matt Stanley and Alyssa Jones from Propero Consulting, who is the appointment agents and professionals who have helped us in the search and interview and recommendation of board members, so they will be joining us in a moment under part 2. But otherwise, I would ask that anybody else leaves. We probably need to close the doors as well. I need to move and second, that's right. I will move that that motion be accepted. Do I have a seconder of that? Thanks, Dave. There, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Any discussion on that? All those in favour, show of hands. Unanimous. Carried. Thank you.